Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live. I'm super excited. Normally it's Facebook Friday, but I did not want to try to upstage Good Friday. I know you guys probably have tons of plans, lots of exciting stuff going on in your life, and I am thrilled to be here with you guys today. Today is going to be a little bit of an interesting journey because I've been wanting to show people what we've been working on at the ResponsiBid labs for a while. I say the labs, but what I really mean is we have a product team, and we spend a lot of time putting stuff together. There's definitely a method to our madness as we get stuff kicked out, off and going. And today I wanted to share some roadmap stuff with you. And then I also wanted to talk about some stuff that's in beta. It's a pretty big deal. I think you guys are going to really like it. And this is just a fun time to connect. Last time we did Facebook Live, it was really fun because we got a chance to talk about the new marketing features that we rolled out, and you guys had a lot to share and say. And so I figured, you know what, with everything that's kind of flowing so quickly right now, let's share it all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start off by kind of giving you a lay of the land, and then I'm happy to take questions. Oh, Brandon, I just saw Brandon in the comments. Brandon, everybody spells my name with a K. I don't even see it anymore. I mean, heck, maybe I even do it sometimes. Who knows? But don't sweat it, man, at all. All right. So what I'm going to share with you guys right now is this is the roadmap. This is a place that you guys can go. I'm going to have Maddie drop the link into the comment section so that you guys can come here as well. And what's really nice about this roadmap is Brittany tries to keep it really centrally focused on just a few things that are either just coming out, we're actually actively working on. And yes, there's a lot of stuff being worked on, but this is like sort of the new sort of feature-esque groundbreaking stuff. And then she has stuff that she's dreaming about and wants to talk to people about it. And what's fun is, yeah, you can come in here and you can comment on it, but as you can see, like, it's just people usually hyping it up. What's also really cool about the roadmap is that you can go into the user ideas area and you can submit feedback from the top. You can see what other people have put in here, read about it, leave comments on it, like it, and kind of help people understand, help Brittany, our product manager, product owner, understand what you guys are most interested in. And then of course you can always come in and see what's been sort of recently released. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to really direct your attention to here. I know it's just 4 little letters and a hyperlink, but when Brittany and the product team are dreaming about things, it's really nice for them to be able to hear what you think. And so when I'll come back at the end of today's live and we'll talk about what's in here and how you can sort of give more input on it, especially people who are already, maybe making things on your own, workarounds, whatever. So thank you, Maddie, for sharing that link in the comment section. Everyone can feel free to come here and do whatever you will. But today I want to talk about Jobs 2.0 as it's coming out. It's such a short name, but it's a lot of stuff. And I think you guys are going to be pretty stoked to see it. I do want to just mention that as I talk about Jobs 2.0, and I know people are going to join later and they're going to ask the question, we'll have to revisit it, but Jobs 2.0 is not for people who already have a CRM. If you're already using a CRM, you've got a lot of power, you've got an invoicing tool, you got a payments tool, you got a calendar, you've got all sorts of different like reporting and things that you need. CRMs are just really robust. What I'm showing you today is a foundational piece for what you see here. So improving our connections to CRMs. If you already have a CRM, you should still watch today, even though what I'm going to talk to you guys about doesn't actually land in your feature set yet, because we have to map what I'm about to show you to all the individual ways. Service Monster isn't in here, but Service Monster is another example of someone who kind of, they just do it different, right? And so we have to map and improve those connections, but you're going to see we're going to add a lot of functionality. So let's do it. Let's get right into our new jobs feature. So for those of you who don't have bids turned on, there's a lot of stuff that is new here. So jobs, invoices, we added a new customers area. In here is a lot of stuff that is the same that you've always seen. And then there's some new stuff that I want to just point out. So on the dashboard, you'll see that we have your bids, and you can kind of see quickly what's going on in each of your bids area. We have, for people who've got jobs turned on, you'll be able to see jobs that have been like created but not scheduled yet for visits. And you'll have, scheduled jobs coming up. You have invoices, requires invoicing, awaiting payment past due. All that stuff is now here. And there is so much driving all of it. If you check out the feeds, you'll see that the bids feed, as you're used to, some of you guys still using the legacy version, you're used to seeing it on the dashboard. It's a lot more configurable now with filters, sorting ability, searchability, all that stuff. And then you also have a jobs feed now. And I'll show you the job settings momentarily, but you'll see that searching and filtering are all, kind of a big deal here. And then invoices, when you turn on the payment processing portion, you now have this payments area. So it's pretty cool. We talked last time I was on Facebook Live about the marketing features, and the marketing features really just come into your ability to send campaigns out, mass emails, AI builds it all for you, and all sorts of other cool stuff. But let's first take a moment to go into the job settings is nothing. Like once you've got it turned on, basically you just flip it on and that's the whole setting. For now, that's all you really need. But if you go into the payment settings, there are some important things that come with jobs and payments that you'll use. So I don't have it yet. This is where you would click and actually fill out an application to start processing payments with ResponsiBid payments. And it's a really competitive rate, really seamlessly baked in. We've thought of so much, you'll see in a minute. But one of the cool things is that every time you charge someone a credit card, there's a fee, right? And in most cases, you pay the fee. But we will allow you to change it. So if you want, you can pass that fee on to your customer, and it's referred to as the platform fee. Apparently, it's illegal to say credit card fees. Credit card companies have a great lobby interest in Washington, D.C., I guess. So anyway, you have to call it a platform fee. And so in this example today, I'm going to show you how you would pass that fee on to your customer. Also, you can customize your way your invoices look, have a specific logo for that outside of your normal proposal logo, and then you can put in all the other stuff for that. Payment methods, once you're approved for your credit card processing, you can then do credit and debit cards and bank accounts. And then you can add as many custom ones as you want. We give to you cash and check, I think, by default. Credit card, gift card is just something I added as an example. And then you can set payment terms. So this is kind of crazy because it's a test account, but you can set up however you want your people to pay in payment terms. Then you can also set up deposits. So you can say, I want to have a rule where the job total, whatever the job total is, I just want a $100 deposit, or I could say I want a 25% deposit, or whatever it is that you want. Or you can even set up for certain services. So maybe for like roof cleaning, there's a lot of chemicals involved. You want to have certain deposits for that, 50% deposit or the dollar deposit or whatever. So you can set it however you want to. And then you can say, I want to require a deposit anytime someone is scheduling a job with me. So whenever someone does it, whether it's an admin or someone self-scheduling through the proposal, you can require a deposit. If you choose not to use that, you can also have this as a backup, saying that you just want to require a payment method on file. And of course, you got your disclaimer text there. And then you have your message template. So this is how you can, like, if you were doing something like maybe via email and you set up like a quote and you're getting ready to set up a job, you'll have ways you'll see later on how you can just shoot them an email or text asking them for a deposit. And then you can just customize how that might look and work for your customer. All of that is deposits, then asking for a payment method on file, how a payment receipt would go to the email, and then how you can send invoices via email or text. So all of that's customizable. You do it one time, we give you defaults, and then you never have to think about it again. Another thing is that some people have sales tax they got to collect. Some people don't. If you turn that on, this is also pretty cool because you can basically set it up so that you can call it whatever you want. You can set the tax rate, and then you can add whatever services you want it to apply to and whatever service areas you want it to apply to. And then it'll just automatically apply. And then if you need to take it off for any reason for a specific customer, you could do that. But this is all set up for you. This is a kind of crazy account. But anyway, that is all of your settings. And these are really important settings, for being able to take payments. So let's get into going into a bid. I've got a bid here for Charlotte Sansbury. Let's create a job. So first thing I want to point out is that when we go to Charlotte's account, or her bid, what's going on here? There we go. So I'll just take you to the customer profile real quick. There's something you should see here. So at the customer level, we now have her as a billing contact. If there was other contacts, you can have someone who's the primary contact, and there's a person you talk to for billing. Same thing for address, just so you have that all accessible to you. And then you'll see that you've got all the jobs on file for that customer. You've got their payments. So you can see all the invoices that they've got and their status. You can see the transactions, all the time that they've ever spent money with you. And then you can see in the wallet if they had a credit card on file. Again, since I'm not hooked up to a real credit card processor, you can't see it, but it's pretty and it's cool. So you can add payments on file if you're actually hooked up. And so let's now go into a bid, and you'll notice that a bid if you're using this feature, you're not going to see that there's a schedule. There is no more schedule anymore. You can visit them to give a quote, but if you want to create a job, we're going to be creating a completely separate entity now. So if I hit create job, I'm just going to go with just a straight up bundle that's offered, and I'll do the envy of the neighborhood. And so the envy of the neighborhood's got the house wash, roof cleaning, and gutter cleaning. And these are the package levels that were included in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you've ever scheduled a crew cal before, you're used to probably going straight to the calendar, but now that we have jobs, we can include as many visits as we need. So maybe the first visit, we're only going to do the roof and gutter cleaning. We're not going to do the house wash. So I can go ahead and click next, and I'll figure out crew cal, find a calendar that I can schedule it onto, which right now in the test account, okay, crossing my fingers. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it on this day. Cool. Those that use crew cal know how this is all working. And then I've got my first visit set, and I'm ready to do it. It says, do you want to move the bid status to resell? So this is where you can now hold this bid to not send follow-up until there's no jobs going anymore. So this is a new status introduced for bids when we took the other ones away. And it basically leaves it like in a sort of dormant style. That's one way of saying it, I guess. And you can see what the customer's agreeing to for the job, this first visit that's been scheduled, and what we're going to do with the status. And I'm good with all of it. I don't need to actually do anything here. I'm just clicking next. Now, there is a deposit required. And unfortunately, in this particular instance, this probably isn't going to work because I'm not hooked to a payment processor. I'm just going to try using cash for now here. I'm not even going to leave a note, but you could collect later instead. But just to give you an idea of what it might look like, I require to put deposit. I'm going to put it on file, schedule this job, and it's doing what I thought it might do. Now, just because I'm just waiting for the system to give it a chance to see if it can figure out what to do without me being hooked up to a processor. You can see that another thing I could do is I could have turned off to require the deposit, and I also could have gone to require a payment method, just got a card on file that I wasn't actually going to charge. All of that is stored directly at a secure location, and we tokenize it here on the ResponsiBid side. We don't actually have it. So I'm going to go ahead and just check out of this, and I am going to check down here, and I'm going to refresh this page. See if I can get it. Okay, so think this actually, yeah, this looks like the one I just did. Cool. So I'm going to go into that job. And you'll see that the job is, similar, but it's definitely not the same. Here you'll see that, we try to use the space as wisely as we can. And then we've already built out a work order where you can see what needs to be done, but it's in ResponsiBid fashion, it's coming out of a package. So if you want to edit it, you can click the edit pencil and it will know how to report it, and you can change it to different packages if you needed to as the admin. But also sometimes you don't want to, you don't want to say roof cleaning basic for whatever reason for this specific customer. I'm going to just say main house only. And then you could change the price if you needed to, and it would create that. Another thing you can do is you can do your service notes here in the job. So you can say, here's a really important thing to know about washing this house there on the roof. And then I could put an image if I wanted to right here, just drag and drop it. And now that should upload. I can click save. So now you'll see that I've changed the title of this, even though it knows how to properly report it. And for CrewCal purposes, it knows how to properly schedule the job, like what crews could do it and all that. So it knows what it is, but it's for the purposes of the work order and the PDF of the invoice and stuff. It knows what to call it for the customer. And we can do that with all the different services. We could add another service. I could add one that's already been quoted. You can see all the quoted services there. Or I could use other services that we don't already have. So I can do whatever I need right on the fly. In the case of driveway cleaning, maybe I'll add the driveway cleaning, but I'm going to edit it from the actual quote for whatever reason. Maybe this is the circular drive on the side of the house. And then maybe I'll just make that, I don't know, $200. And then again, same thing with the package descriptions. You can use all of that and type in whatever you need. And then you hit save. So now the work order has been updated. You can see it's been added, and all of that stuff, I've been able to just do it right here on the fly without having to go back to the bid or do anything to sync it that way. And then you can see the discount being applied for the services that are linked to the bundle and the bundle discount. And then of course we can add notes. This is also really cool because on a job, you might have admin leaving notes, you might have technicians leaving notes, and this kind of becomes a real communication hub. So I could say, be aware that the customer won't be home when you get there. So I might just leave that note there, and then I could add imagery to that if I needed to. And when I save it, you can see that I'm logged in right now as Rocky Balboa, and that is what I said. So another technician logged in could be leaving notes that way as well. Now, you remember I scheduled a visit for gutter cleaning and roof cleaning, but I still have another visit that I need to schedule, and I can do as many as I need. Because I'm using CrewCal, I could just do it again. And in this case, I could get rid of gutter and roof. Actually, this probably is going to need a refresh because it's not showing me the driveway, and I know it needs a driveway added to it. So let me try that one more time. There it is. So I still need to do these two, and I don't need to do those two. Unfortunately, I don't think CrewCal's set up for anyone to be able to do the roof cleaning or the house wash and driveway cleaning, but that's okay. I'll just click in somewhere, give it to Tech 1, make it as long as I need it to be. Okay, cool. So my visit is now, where'd my visit go? That's not good. This is why live demos can be a little tricky. Where did it go? Add visit with CrewCal. We're going to do this. Oh, I know why Tech 1 isn't actually real. I have to really put it on Brittany's calendar. I think that's why. Okay. So sorry, test account stuff. Sorry about that. Okay. So it's booked everything for the right duration, arrival windows, duration of hours on the right calendar that actually exists. I'm just going to hit save. So now I've got 2 visits set up for this customer to do 2 different things. And obviously in your company, you'd have real calendars to hook it to. So now all the visits are satisfied. I've got everything I need to do it. And then you'll see that because I have 2 visits, I actually have 2 active follow-ups running. I'll show you more about that here in a little bit. You don't have to run multiple follow-ups if you don't want. You can just tie it to one of the visits, but because I have multiple visits, I can send different things based on the different visits. So the other cool thing is that you can see where I have, like I added a job line item. You can see that Rocky Balboa did it. You can see that Rocky Balboa edited some prices, and the note was added and images were added. So all of that stuff happens on its own, and helps you to know not to have to like point fingers at anybody. Like you can just know who did what. And then you can also check out this other cool feature. This is something I think is really powerful. And that is that there's a tech work order link. So maybe you don't want everyone logged in looking at stuff. Maybe the techs just need this specific link that you can copy called the tech work order link. And in this link, let me open it up here. You basically have this area where what needs to be done is clear. The notes and images are there. You can view them from it. And then your specs are there, so they can be verified and all that stuff. Any media, if it existed at the bid or job level, you could see that media there. Any of the private or public notes that were from the bid would be here. Any of the job notes would also be here. You see that note that I just made. But now the technician who's not logged in can also leave notes. So I'm actually, I can just type in and say, John, that's who's leaving this note. I could leave an image if I wanted to. And so now we've got these threaded notes that are there. And this tech work order link is great because if I'm not a logged in user, then I have something really cool to work off of as like a checklist. But if I was a logged in user, I could just click the job ID and I could go back to the job. Now, collecting payment, as we already said, it's a little bit different because I'm not connected to the proper payments, but this is what the invoice looks like. And you can see that the deposit was not paid. We'll get to that here in a second. I can, at the invoice level, I can do some stuff for you. But essentially, I have this invoice. You can see where my change is reflected, and you got this really nice laid out invoice. And then you can also grab like a deposit link that you can send to the customer. So you can copy the link and send to them. You can click it yourself. You can check out, what needs to be collected for the deposit. And you can see that the customer sees they got a platform fee of $9. So the deposit is $309. They can set up whatever they need. It's obviously not working for me because I've said a million times that I'm not hooked up. So I won't do that again, even though I just did. So you can send them a link to save a payment method on file. So this would allow them to just do that and not actually make a payment. You could just send them a link to pay, just like to pay off the job. Like, hey, we're done. Feel free to, pay us. Now, the cool thing about paying off a job is that they can see the invoice, and that's cool. But they also can leave a tip if they want. So they don't have to. They can do no tip. But if they want to leave a tip, it's there. And then you can see on a job this size, the platform fee is $76.30. And then it says for a reduced fee, choose the bank transfer option. So if they do the bank transfer option, the platform fee goes down to $15. If they do a credit card, it's back up to $76. So this is a link that you can send off to your customer as well. And then, of course, when you hit that email invoice or text invoice, those use those templates I was showing you earlier. So internally, if you're going to select it, you can just do it over the phone, and you can take the full amount, or you can just take the other amount, put in the amount that it needs to be just for now, and you can accept it. So I'm just going to do the amount due, and then I'm going to do a 10% tip because I'm generous. And I'm going to just use cash, and I'll say paid over the phone to me. And hit that. Once again, I'm not exactly sure if this will work. I hope it will, because I'd love for you to see how, yeah, there we go. So we sent confirmation email because it was paid off. It goes straight to them. And then there's your paid invoice. And the nice thing is if you want to like print it, and let's just see the PDF version of it here. It's actually really nicely laid out. So if you ever want to deal in paper, there's a payment link scan code to it that they could use, which obviously is irrelevant because it's already been paid. But you can see all my edits, the stuff I added to it later. It's all there. You can see what was taxed. All of it is really accessible to the customer. So this is a really handy way for people who maybe don't have a CRM yet to at least have a record of their jobs. And then once we do finish on the roadmap, connecting this to the CRM connections, you can see how you'd be able to have a lot more record keeping, and it opens the door for commission tracking and other stuff that we need to be able to do. So we can tie off of all the history of all the jobs, payments, and deposits being made. So with that, I'm going to come back over to the screen, and like, that was a lot, but what do you guys think? Is that something that, you know, you guys have been anticipating, or that you're into? Just curious what you think. And has anyone been to the roadmap yet? Go check it out. Just curious where you guys are at on all this. Let me know. One of the things, replace humans. What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, this has been, you know, one of the things that we at ResponsiBid do is we take a lot of time to make sure we get it right. And Brittany, huge shout out to Brittany. She spends a lot of time really listening to customers and what it is they actually want. And she has done a massive amount of work to really think of all those little details, like the sales tax and the configurability of it, passing on the payments platform fee to your customers if you so desire, all of that. And yeah, Jamie Schmidt says, looks awesome. Yeah, it's not just powerful. It's also really good looking. I like the way it looks. Shout out to our designer, Raphael. He has spent a lot of time really thinking this through as well with Brittany. And so anyway, yeah, Nicholas, yeah, looks sweet. Nicholas, actually, you were really instrumental, I believe. Brittany talks about you pretty frequently, so I know that you've spent a lot of time with her hashing out ideas. One of the ideas that I showed on the roadmap is the maintenance plan idea. The idea that we sell service, and then we need to be selling like a subscription model, or at the very minimum, just booking future appointments for the maintenance we know is going to need to be done. And I don't know, Nicholas, if you've spent a lot of time with Brittany on that specific one, but I know that she's talked a lot about a lot of users who spent time with her trying to iron out what makes sense and how that would look. So anyway, yeah, very cool. I'm actually going to share my screen one more time though, just for that very purpose. I said this at the beginning, and I want to make sure you guys see it now. If you would go to the link that's here in the comment section, and it takes you to the roadmap, not only can you go check out other ideas and even add some ideas of what you want, but in this pipeline area, you can see what she's dreaming about. And if you want to, like, for example, the pipeline manager, the ability to have like swim lanes and Kanban boards to manage your leads, that's something that is very much on her mind, and she's trying to move into development. But there's still a lot of conceptual things that need to be done. Yes, you could leave a comment here. That would be great. But also, if you go here, you actually can get onto Brittany's calendar, and she will like meet with you and discuss with you all the things, the ideas that you have. She really does listen. I almost guarantee you that if you talk about one subject, you're going to talk about more than one subject. Brittany's going to pick your brain about all sorts of stuff, and she's fantastic that way. So let's see, our RB calendar will be a game changer. Yeah, that's the one thing I think that we really are missing, is that we read the calendar of your CRMs or Google Calendar. And actually the Google Calendar, it might as well be our calendar. We read it really, really well, and we sync it really, really well. But yeah, we don't have an internal calendar right now. And we need to find out if that's like really important to people. I know one of the things that people are talking about in terms of like sales is this maintenance package thing. Like, before we started working on the calendar, I'm curious what you guys think of maintenance plans. I think that's on a lot of people's minds right now. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about buying it. Michael, I might need you to spot me. Do you have any extra cash laying around? How you doing, Michael? It's good to see you. So Jamie Schmidt, Michael Parker, Nicholas Flemian, Jonathan Ward. Man, a lot of good, fun faces in here. It's good to see you guys. See everybody in here. What questions do you have for me? Any questions around the new jobs feature? And do you see a lot of value in connecting these jobs with your CRM that you're already using? Buy Meta if you can't. I'll tell you, I got tens of pennies. Jason, so the way you find the roadmap is, let me copy this link real quick. Here we go. Let's see if that worked. Oh, I think I just got beaten, possibly by Maddie. Anyway, in the comments section, I just threw a link to the roadmap. Feel free to hop in there, Jason. Look around, add stuff, add comments to stuff. This is definitely something that Brittany spends a good amount of time in. Cool. All right. Any other thoughts or questions? We're excited to do it, guys. This jobs feature is something we've been looking at for a long time. Raphael, on the roadmap, please vote for features you would like us to prioritize. So Raphael here, he is our lead designer. He is amazing. And yeah, he's right. You know, he truly is. I'm in lots of meetings with him. Particularly, I'm thinking of our wireframe meeting that we go to, where he's like constantly like, wait, what does the customer really want here? And one of his famous questions, Raphael, if I can call you out here, one of Raphael's famous questions is, let me just see if I've got this right here. What is it that they're actually trying to accomplish here? And I'm guessing that as you saw that demo of jobs, you probably saw a lot of that. Like, what do they really want to accomplish here? And yeah, there's a lot of complexity sometimes in running a business, but it worked good. Michael says, I just got here. Be sure I'll love everything and then complain to Brittany and David every day once it launches. You're so funny, Michael. Cool. Oh, you got it, Jason. Thank you. All right. Michael says, maintenance plans are key for us. We've been hacking bundles to sell maintenance plans, but it doesn't read well. Would love to have something to create ARR. Yeah, we are really aware of that. And Brittany is really aware of that. Michael, have you met with Brittany yet to sort of discuss what you're cobbling together and like maybe what you wish you had? Because as she moves from dreams to development, that is a really big step. That's when we start locking things in. And the more she can take in, even like as recently as like maybe even this week, but certainly last week, she was meeting with a user and she told me she was talking to him and she's like, they just blew my mind with a thought they had. And it really helped me to be able to like think about it differently. And it wasn't like she had to like throw out the baby and the bathwater, but it was like one of those things where it's like, I was able to make just a couple small changes that super simplified this whole process. And I thought, you know, that's why you're talking to people. So that's good. Michael says, she ignored me, but it's been probably a year since I've had time for a screen share. Well, if it's been a year since you've had time for a screen share, my guess is that there's a chance that she replied and you ignored her. I don't know. Brittany's pretty on the ball. I'm not blaming the victim here, but just saying. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that, man. Love you, man, and all that you do for us too. So, well, cool. Let's get the word out, everybody. We are currently looking for people who do not have a CRM yet, or possibly they use a CRM that doesn't connect to ResponsiBid, but they've been looking for a selling tool. Those are good candidates for this new release candidate. We would love to get this in as many hands as possible right now. We want to get it fully fleshed out, make sure it's running just the way we want. But as you saw, that was a live demo, even with fake calendars connected and all that. It's pretty solid. It runs really smooth, and we've got people already using it in the wild and charging their customers. So anyway, thanks again for everything. Let's get out of here, and I will see you guys maybe even as soon as next week. But have a great Easter. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk later. Bye.